Hey everyone! So today we're diving into a really powerful critique of our modern school system. And we're going to do it through the story of one student who decided to fight back against what he called the educational trap.
This right here, this quote, this is the whole problem in a nutshell. It's from an AP history teacher to a really curious student, and it just perfectly captures a system that so often cares more about memorizing stuff for a test than it does about, actual curiosity. For the student in our story, this is the exact moment he realizes something is deeply, deeply wrong.
And that really brings us to the big question, doesn't it? It's the one that frames this entire story. What is the real goal of education? Is it to create independent thinkers who can challenge ideas? Or is it actually to produce compliant citizens who just follow the rules without asking why? This is the core conflict right at the heart of the educational trap. Okay, so let's meet our guy, Leo. I mean, on paper, this kid is the perfect student. He's got a 4.1 GPA, he's absolutely winning the game. But inside, he feels like a total fraud. Like a highly trained parrot who's just gotten really, really good at repeating information back. He's rewarded for regurgitation, not for having a single original thought.
So picture this. You're in Mr. Harrison's AP history class. The whole point of the lesson is to memorize the three main causes of the War of 1812, for the test. But Leo, he actually went and did some extra reading, and he asks a much deeper question about the real motivations behind the war. And what happens? He's immediately shut down, because his curiosity doesn't fit into the bullet points for the test.
So, feeling pretty lost, Leo finds this unlikely mentor, the school librarian, a woman named Ms. Aris. And she offers him a wild diagnosis. The system isn't broken. Oh no, it's working exactly as it was designed to. And this gets to the absolute core of the whole argument.
See, Miss Aris explains that our schools are basically running on a 19th century operating system. They were never built to create artists or philosophers or innovators. They were designed for one thing, to train a compliant workforce for the Industrial Revolution. People who would show up on time, follow directions, and do the same task over and over without asking too many questions.
So let's just trace how we got here. In the 19th century, factories needed a new kind of worker. So education systems adopted this rigid, almost military-style model. That's where we get all the bells signaling the change of shifts, classes. That's where we get desks in neat little rows and this top-down authority structure. And here's the kicker. The economy has totally transformed, but the basic structure of our schools, it's pretty much stayed the same.
And according to Miss Aris, this model doesn't just teach you math and history. It teaches a hidden curriculum. It quietly conditions you to believe that truth only comes from an authority figure. That being smart just means you're good at remembering and repeating things. And this is a big one, that your personal worth is literally determined by a letter grade that someone else gives you. The whole thing is built on getting that external validation.
So, what do you do when you see the trap? You don't just give up and drop out. No. Miss Aris teaches Leo how to become an intellectual insurgent, how to play their game on the surface while secretly stealing a real education for yourself from the inside.
And this is so cool. This is how Leo actually puts it into practice. For an essay on The Great Gatsby, he follows the grading rubric to the absolute letter. Perfect 5-paragraph format, thesis right where it should be, exactly 3 quotes. He gives the system all the compliance it wants in the form. But the substance, he delivers this radical, totally unconventional critique of the narrator. He gets an A-, a win. This piece of advice from Miss Aris, this is the key that unlocks everything. It's a total mental shift. The second you stop tying your self-worth to your grades, you're free. An A just means you followed the instructions perfectly. It doesn't necessarily mean you had a brilliant idea. And knowing that, well, that gives you the freedom to take real intellectual risks. Okay, so Miss Aris doesn't just hand him some abstract theory. She gives Leo a practical 6-step guide for intellectual survival. It's a framework for anyone who's ever felt caught in this exact same trap. So the first 3 rules are all about creating your own space. Rule 1, master their game just enough so they leave you alone. Rule 2, go find the knowledge that exists outside the official curriculum. Ms. Aris says that if a teacher ever tells you that won't be on the test, that's your signal to go study it immediately. And rule 3, constantly audit your own mind. Ask yourself if your beliefs are truly yours or if they were just handed to you. The next 3 rules,
They're about building strength. Rule 4 is huge. Learn to see a bad grade not as a failure, but as a potential sign that you're actually doing something right. Rule 5, find other people who see the system for what it is. The school wants to isolate you in competition, so find your allies. And finally, number 6, learn how to connect ideas between subjects because that's how the real world works. That ability to synthesize is incredibly rare and incredibly valuable.
But this path, being an insurgent, it's not easy. It comes with real costs. And Leo's new philosophy gets put to the ultimate test with his final paper in AP Government, an assignment that is basically the final boss of everything he's come to hate about school.
I mean, just look at this prompt. It's not asking for critical analysis. It's demanding you defend a pre-approved conclusion. It's a loyalty test, plain and simple. It's designed to reward the students who can best argue for the status quo, whether they believe it or not. It's the perfect trap.
And this is Leo's response. He doesn't defend the system. He dismantles it. He writes this brilliant, well-researched, and powerful essay arguing the exact opposite of what the prompt demanded. He used all the right evidence and logic, but he just flat out refused to be intellectually subservient. And for all that work, this is the result: a giant red D. For failing to follow the most important rule of all.
Agree.
But here's the thing. For Leo, this D is a victory. It's proof that he's finally broken free from needing the system's approval. He knew the penalty for nonconformity, and he paid it willingly. It's a badge of honor, a tangible symbol of his own intellectual independence. Of course, the consequences are very real. His GPA takes a hit. His parents are understandably worried. And Mrs. Aris, the librarian who opened his eyes, she gets fired for recommending unapproved books to students. As she's leaving, she tells Leo that the system is just doing what it was designed to do. It identifies and rejects anything that challenges it, kind of like a body rejecting an antibody. And that brings us to the final provocative question. Leo's story isn't really just about defying a teacher. It's about taking ownership of your own mind. The system has a clear path laid out for you, a future it wants to build for you. The real question is, are you willing to step off that conveyor belt and build it for yourself, even if you have to pay the price?
Please like and subscribe.